Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on GrindCityMedia.com. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. Week 13 of
Single on Fish!
Single on Fish! That's how we start the show. Single on Fish. The way that it should be. We welcome you to the program this week as we talk college football and the Shield with you. Handicap the action coming up this weekend. And, of course, coming up later, picks! Yes, we got picks coming up on the show. As we mentioned, I'm Rob Fisher. Lang Whitaker alongside. Hello, Lang.
What's up?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm ready for some turkey.
Some turkey. Turkey and football.
Spend the day with you, Jive Turkeys, today.
That's right. John Roser.
What is that for? Is this a semi-pro?
I don't know.
They say it was a big deal when they called somebody a jive turkey. Yeah, it was a problem. It was like an insult. What up?
How are you, man?
I'm good. I was gone last week, so I missed you guys.
That's right.
But
CJ
we're
gone
glad to
today,
have you
of
back.
course.
yeah, 3-2 record last week for myself. The syndicate, we were better as a syndicate last week. The previous week was just a disaster. We said we would be better last week.
We
and
were.
We were better last
There
week.
you go. We went 500.
Yeah.
It's better than last week
500.
before.
I have decided. I did it. I made the mistake again last week, putting a SEC game in my picks because that's just been a disaster this year.
Well, I forgot to tell the people, and I hope 500 last week. But if they do it right according to our system, the Ohio State first half was our million star lock.
That's right.
So that is one where you empty 3/4 of the bank account on, and the other quarter of your bank account you just spread out on the other stuff.
I mean, I missed on the Georgia game last week. I had them, 54.5 was the spread.
Right.
They missed it by 5.5.
Yeah.
They should have covered it. They had a pick six. Mm-hmm. The Charleston Southern fumbled or something, and the Georgia guy was running the other way, and the Charleston Southern player stripped the guy, ran in and scored because nobody was back for Georgia, and that was the touchdown that made the difference in that game.
That's a bad beat.
Yeah.
That's a bad beat. I've decided, because when I look at my overall record this year of betting, not just the 5 picks here, I've been lights out on over-unders this year.
There you go.
Lights out
Why
on
don't you just
over-unders.
do totals?
So
Yeah, just
now I'm doing
pull a Roser.
It's
just
week.
pick totals.
It took me till week 13. But I'm putting in over-unders on all my picks.
Yeah.
Well, except for 2.
There
But
you
I got
go.
3 of them in there. So,
All right.
Yeah. So I'm bringing winners this week that you can take.
I like it.
To the
I
bank.
like it.
What did we learn this week?
It stinks to be a college football coach.
Rough time of year.
I wrote about it for Grind City Media, but man, there's a lot of coaches who are out of work even as the season went along. Like a lot of them didn't even make it to the end of the season. We saw Dan Mullen this week, but dozens of people are literally, like, I think it's 15 now, 15 or 16 have been fired. Some of them have already hired new coaches, like permanent coaches already. And then there's still another dozen on the hot seat or so. Like it's not a good time. I don't. Why is it happening so much more this year than any other year? It feels like, at least, that like the tenure, like Dan Mullen wasn't even last year. They were in the SEC championship game, or 2 years ago. Like the Ed Orgeron won a title 2 years ago. Like the leash is shorter than ever on these guys. It feels like, right?
Yet the contracts that are going to be given out to replace these guys are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, LSU is going to pay whatever for however long you want.
They're already buying out all these guys. Like like Dan Mullen's getting paid to not coach.
Right.
Someone text,
Justin Fuente, if they would have waited till the end of the year, his buyout was a lot less.
Someone texted me today, the best job you can get is a fired college football coach, which makes a lot of sense. But, man, it's not a good time to be a college football coach.
No. Roser, what did we learn?
Well, depending on who you are, it is a good time to be a college football coach.
Yeah,
if you're James Franklin, you're having a great day. I mean, you just got, an $8 million a year extension.
I'm going 7-4.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool right there. I think this week coming up, I think we've learned that, this is a big week for Ryan Silverfield. A big week for Ryan Silverfield. Because if you can't go to a bowl game, If you lose to Tulane, who's been a thorn in the Tigers' side over the last couple of years, like
they're awful.
They're
awful.
frisky.
But they have been a problem.
They
for the
were
Tigers.
12 weeks ago.
Yeah,
when they
before
played
the
Oklahoma.
season started.
Because remember when they played Oklahoma, it's like, oh gosh, look out for this team.
Yeah.
Well, turns out Oklahoma's not very good. Maybe
because I have said throughout the year, I'm like, other than Calvin Austin, where is the speed on the outside? Where are the big playmakers that they've had under Norvell? Like, where are those guys? Like, are they all just gone now? And if you go from what Memphis has been the last several years under Fuente and Norvell to now you're not making a bowl game, next year sets up a very difficult year for him. Also, it was only a matter of time. Mike Leach's going to get this thing going at Mississippi State.
You think so?
They had the Memphis game was just, I mean, let's be real, they got screwed. And LSU, and they've done it in a couple games this year where they just shoot themselves in the foot at the beginning of the game. And, like, if they just don't do that, like, those are two more wins that they should have. But I think, they've got the quarterback, and it'll get going there. I think Mississippi State Ole Miss is set up to, God, that game's going to be
It's going to be awesome.
It is.
That game's going to be
It's going to be better than the NFL games on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I just wonder if State, what's the ceiling with Mike Leach?
I mean, you're not going to get past.
Is it much better than what you're doing this year?
You're not going to get past Alabama in the West, right?
What was their ceiling with Dan Mullen?
Well, I mean, he took them to number 1 in the country.
For a week.
Right, but like for a week.
Yeah.
For like a week. And then it was gone, and then they ended up, I don't know where they end up. It's somewhere in the top 25.
But if you're Mike Leach, like what do you care at this point?
Well, if you're Mike Leach, sure.
Yeah, he's in his 50s. I don't know how
and
old
for
he is.
State, I mean, what's your expectation?
And you've got Texas and Oklahoma coming.
That's right.
I will put it this. I'll put it this way. Mississippi State under Mike Leach is in a better position than Florida under Dan Mullen was right now.
We're going to hear from Sad Dan coming up a little later.
We've heard from Sad Dan about a month straight now.
One thought I had: if you're one of these group of 5 teams like a Memphis, where things aren't going really the way you want right now, like, would this be the time to make the move? Like, all these other coaches are getting fired all over the place. Like, make a splash right now. Go get one of these guys.
I mean,
you better be confident you're getting a guy that's going to be better than what you have.
Yeah, because some of these lower level guys are going to be sitting out hoping they can get one of the big jobs.
Maybe. I mean,
and it just got James Franklin had been somebody who had been linked to USC, been linked to LSU, and the fact that he's saying at
Florida
Penn State,
was throwing him around. Yeah.
And I've heard stuff that that LSU is going to still try to throw everything at Jimbo Fisher, and that he's kind of been like, you may actually believe him on this one, that he's going to stay at A&M.
I keep hearing Dave Aranda mentioned there.
Dave Aranda's interesting.
Yeah.
Aranda's interesting because, I mean,
I've heard him linked to Florida, too.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin's been linked to Miami.
I hope Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss.
USC's been really quiet, which makes me think it's probably going to be fickle.
Right.
Because it's been really quiet on them.
Yeah, I hope Lane stays at Ole Miss. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about Memphis. I had this conversation with somebody today who's an Ole Miss fan, and we were talking about Lane, and I said I hope he stays because Ole Miss is relevant. They're fun to watch, and they're exciting. I mean, they're exciting. That's the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing for Memphis right now that you don't want to fall into is that you're boring.
Yeah.
Because when you're a program, and let's be honest, Memphis as a program isn't today where they were 2 years, not just themselves, but the conference.
Yeah.
I mean, the conference isn't what it used to be going forward as it is even today.
But it was probably, I don't know exactly, it was probably about 2 years ago around this time when Game Day was here, right?
Yeah.
And it was like a big deal. And
you were exciting.
Yeah.
And you were fun to watch. And, you don't want to slip into, regardless of the record. I mean, they could win this week, win a bowl game, go 7-6, have a 7-6 year, go to a bowl game. I think that's fine on a year that you're somewhat rebuilding.
Sure.
But when you're rebuilding, you got to come back, and it's got to be fun. Because if it's not fun and it's boring, what's the appeal of Memphis football?
You can't rebuild.
No.
If you're going to rebuild, you got to rebuild, but you only get one shot at rebuild.
Right.
You can't. If you come back from a rebuilding year and have to rebuild again, that's when you run into trouble.
That's when you have big trouble.
The rebuild.
Yeah. We don't want the rebuild. Fish scales. You want the fish scales?
Yeah, I saw there was 3 sheets of paper here, and I was like, last week's picks.
Time for how about the graphics we have now? Time for the fish scales, everybody. Yes, they are the greatest,
graphic?
most fair, most accurate, perfect system, and most humble.
Is this a lizard with a crown on?
No, it's a little fish.
Oh.
It says the fish scales.
With a crown?
Yeah, because the fish are king.
Okay.
See? Yeah. Fish scales are it's the best college football ranking system in America. Here's The quick rundown of the rules. Here's how teams are ranked. Number of losses, head-to-head, then big wins. Big wins constitute wins over teams over 500. And if you beat a team that's ranked in the fish scales, those wins count even for double. It goes on with big wins against ranked opponents on the road and all the tiebreakers there. And one big key rule, though, that you need to know is that only games against FBS opponents are counted, unless you lose. You lose to an FCS school, it counts. But if you and you're also ineligible for the fish scales if you lose to an FCS school.
All right.
You're ineligible. So those are all the rules for the
that.
fish scales on how teams are ranked. And we got a couple of changes this week,
Yeah, I got some problems with this.
2 teams dropped out, Utah State and SMU. Utah's in, Fresno State both in for the first time. You got Ole Miss up there at number 18, BYU at 16, Oregon at number 13. That is the best 2-loss team now in the country. Oklahoma now at number 12, 11 is Houston. And then you got your top 10 teams in the fish scales. At number 10 is Notre Dame, actually falling from number 5. San Diego State at 9, Louisiana Lafayette 8, Alabama 7, Oklahoma State 6, Michigan 5, Ohio State 4, UTSA 3, Georgia number 2.
Yeah.
And the Cincinnati Bearcats are now the number 1 team in the fish scales. Now that doesn't mean here's the beauty of the fish scales. That doesn't mean Cincinnati's playing in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Because the college football playoff in the fish scales is the top 4 FBS teams because
In
really
Reno.
or the top 4 Power 5 schools.
Yeah.
Because
The group of 5's in Reno.
yeah, the group of 5, they're playing in Reno in the others
Man, that's
championship.
rough. Why they got to be Reno?
Well, he had him in Vegas, and I had suggested we move it to Reno.
Oh, come on.
It's a group of 5.
I mean, how good of a game is Cincinnati UTSA in the non-Power 5 championship game in Reno?
In Reno, that's a 10, that game.
10.
Yeah, it's a Reno 10.
The Power 5 playoff at this point, according to the fish scales, you got Georgia against Oklahoma State and Ohio State against Michigan. Now, those 2 will play this week, so one of them is going to get bounced. And that means Alabama right there on the doorstep will probably break in. But Oklahoma State, the team not getting any love from the committee.
It's like a
And they
fish
deserve it.
scales
No, they are not.
playoff
They're good.
preview. this week.
Oklahoma State does that. That's been another team you want to talk about covering.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State has been a covering machine. They're
Yeah.
it's crazy because you don't think of them under Mike Gundy as a defensive team, but their defense is awesome.
And it's BS if they beat Oklahoma this week that they
And-
still won't get love because nobody thinks Oklahoma's any
Yeah,
good, despite the
it
fact that
is
they have
gonna
one
be-
loss.
How
And
did
they have it set up to where either, if you look at the college football playoff rankings, I mean, they have it set up to where either the Big Ten or the SEC is getting 2 in.
Yeah.
They've got it. They've got it set up that way. Unless Ohio State beats Michigan. If you are Oklahoma State,
Well.
you need Ohio State to beat Michigan.
They're going to. How did Notre Dame win a game 55-0 and fall from 5 to 10?
Yeah.
Because they had 2 wins that were big wins that both became not big wins. 2 wins that they had.
What
were
is the
against
big
teams
win?
They were over 500.
But shouldn't it
but
be?
then they both
If it's a
lost,
big win
so
at the
they're
time,
not,
it's a big win.
no, not at the time. It's where
I think
that
it should
team
be
is today.
contemporaneous. Like whatever happens.
Yeah, but if you beat a team in week 1, it's not a big win because they're 0-1.
I mean,
Right,
you
like
got
if you-
Georgia with the big win against Clemson, and Clemson stinks.
They don't
At the
stink.
time, it was a big
Yeah,
win.
Clemson kind of sucks.
At the time, it
I
was
mean,
1
it's not
against
a
3.
ranked
They're not.
win. It's not a huge win, but it's a big win. They're 7-3.
It's a good win. It's a good
Beat
win.
a team that's
But at the
7-3,
time, it was a
that
great
counts.
win.
Yeah, at the
You
time
know, it was
a
1
great
versus
win.
3.
That's why
everybody's
we have to
watching.
count the whole season because at the time we were wrong.
But we weren't wrong. We didn't.
were. It
They
wasn't
got
like-
worse as the season went along.
I mean,
Like,
you don't look at that win today and say what a great win that was for Georgia.
you guys just did. You guys.
I said it's a good
You just
win.
said it
It's
was
a
a good
big win. I didn't say great. Big.
Big win.
Identified by a team over 500.
Yeah, a big win, not a great win, and definitely not a great big win.
No. There you go, Roser. That's
Yeah.
exactly what
It's like
I'm
a
saying.
rerun of a rerun.
If anybody is listening, they
rebuild of a
still
rebuild.
have no idea what the hell the Fish Scales does.
I don't know.
Check them out on Twitter
But I
at the
would,
Fish Nation.
but I love them, and I can't wait for
I
them
appreciate
every
I
week.
appreciate their humility.
And my sources at Notre Dame tell me they are very upset that they dropped from 5 to 10.
Well, that's all right. Still got time. Still got time. Anything can happen after this week.
The Fish Scales committee is tempting God here by messing with Notre Dame.
I know. I'm a little nervous. And apparently Alabama's upset that they're 7. And they've been 7
would
for
be
like
too.
3 straight weeks. So I apologize to the Alabama people. But that could all change again this week. Go, go win, and everything could change. Alabama heads into the Iron Bowl after holding off the Hogs last week. But Arkansas gave them everything they could handle. So now you take on Auburn. They don't have a chance. I mean, Auburn doesn't have a chance,
Especially
right?
Nick's out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But Nick Saban, he believes his team needs to be a lot better.
Oh, my bad. I got to get used to doing this again.
Yeah, okay.
Are we Kirby Smart or Nick Saban?
Nick Saban. He believes his team needs to be a lot better.
You didn't send me Nick Saban.
Did I not send you
No,
Nick Saban?
you sent me Kirby Smart. You sent me 6 clips.
Do you want me to give you a Nick
Saban's
Saban
not
quote?
one of them.
Here's Nick Saban. Well, we played real well, and I thought we got to do better. I told the guys, got to do better. How's that?
That's good.
Yeah?
That was pretty good. All right, that was Nick Saban.
Glum Nick.
Alabama.
Glum Nick Saban.
Alabama taking on Auburn this week in the Iron Bowl. Alabama 14-6 against the spread their last 20 games. Auburn 3-8 against the spread their last 11 as an underdog. I like Alabama, and I think Alabama covers in this game. I think they will.
I think so,
over
too.
Auburn.
I think
weird things happen this week, but I don't see weird happening in that one.
Auburn looked pretty bad last week, and I don't know what this is one of those, especially after just by their standards squeaking out a win against Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Nick Saban was the #1 trending topic on Twitter Saturday night, and I was like, did I miss something? Like, did they lose? Like, they won, and then I looked and they won, but people were still mad they only won by a touchdown.
Yes.
So I think maybe this is one of those statement weeks for Nick Saban.
The wake-up week?
Yeah.
Arkansas 14.5 against Missouri this week. They play for something. I forget what they play for. A boot, maybe? Might be a boot.
Yeah, I think it's a boot.
I think it's a
Lightsaber?
boot.
The Missouri and Arkansas, don't they kind of
They
make
got
a boot?
that boot. Yeah, the boot heel.
Or
of
is that
Missouri.
Arkansas LSU that do that?
That's not a boot. Missouri
Arkansas and
is
LSU
like
played for a boot. That's right.
Missouri and Arkansas is like
Play
a
for
parallelogram.
It's like a turd.
Yeah.
It's like a dookie roll.
Because remember when Sam Pittman said, we have the boot right here, and don't ever forget this the rest of your life.
He
We
said-
had this bite last week, Roser. Sam Pittman said, don't ever
No.
forget the rest of your life. You'll always remember this. When you win, you win.
He said the boot is satin right here.
Boot is satin right here.
I said that's how you know it's Southern when you say
Oh,
satin.
man.
Arkansas 16-6 against the spread their last 22. Mizzou just 3-10 against the spread their last 13. Although they have covered the last 3 games, head to head, 7 of the last 9 between these two teams have gone under the total.
under.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Missouri getting bowl eligible this week, which is quite remarkable. Georgia Tech this week. That's a big line for Georgia. 35 for the Dogs.
Take them.
Take them. We got interesting picks coming up later, by the way. regarding that one.
Georgia Tech lost 55-0 to Notre Dame, and they're not very good.
Did you not want to hear from Eli Drinkwitz? I have that.
Nah.
Do you? No, we're going to get through
We
this.
heard him.
Yeah,
we saw him
he's-
pull out the
He
Darth
pulled
Vader
out
costume.
the lightsaber.
Yeah.
And he chopped Dan Mullen's head off.
One other game is the Egg Bowl. Wanted to mention Mississippi State 1-point favorite against Ole Miss. State 3-7 against the spread their last 10 at home. Ole Miss 10-3 against the spread their last 13 against winning teams. Head to head, the road team has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings. That would bode well for Ole Miss. I don't know what to think of Mississippi State. I don't know what state team we're going to see. And this is one of those games that you think weird stuff happens.
Oh, it does. It's the Egg Bowl. This is the game I'm most looking forward to this
Me too.
weekend.
Yeah.
I'm looking more forward to this than I am Michigan Ohio State, just because
I think Ohio State's
maybe
gonna kill 'em.
Michigan could do something, but I tend to go with my gut instinct and tells me Ohio State just is going to end up blowing them out. But
Yeah.
you know,
But the Mississippi
game's fun.
Miss State game, anything could happen.
yeah,
And-
Mississippi State. Let's go, buddy.
I mean, Will Rogers to me is so up and down. Like, you have these games where he's 36 for 38, and then there's games where he looks awful. So, like, whatever Will Rogers shows up, if we get the most honest quarterback in America, we got a good shot.
That's
for-
right.
for
And
a
it's
big
supposed to pour down rain,
The
too.
game's in
Awesome.
Starkville.
Yeah.
Women will be dipping. That's the, have y'all not heard that? That's the thing. Like, it's just somebody told me they're like, I said it on the air. I had someone tell me like the girls in Mississippi State they dip, they dip, and I was like, what? I said it on the air one day, and I had a guy call in, and he's like, Roser ain't lying, man. Women in Starkville dip. You find a lot of women that dip down there. And I was
Hey,
like, all right, do
I
what
grew
you
up in the
want.
South, and I was always told, don't smoke, don't chew, and don't go with girls who do. So,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a good way to go to break. I'm betting Ole Miss this week.
That's our next odds couple promo right there.
Yeah, that's certainly the next odds couple promo. We'll take a break. Lance Taylor's going to join us when we come back, and we hear from Sad Dan for the final time.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah, no, it's just too bad. And then later, picks. We got picks.
Picks!
Coming
Picks!
up on the show.
Picks!
That'll be a little bit later on. Syndicate will get things right this week. We'll take a break. Come back. More of the odds couple here on Grind City Media.
The Odds Couple is brought to you by WynnBET, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. WynnBET is bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. You can place bets on games on any major sport, including on NBA teams like your Memphis Grizzlies. Sign up today and use promo code BET1WIN100, and after placing your first $1 wager, you'll receive $100 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. Betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you win or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
When you heard that you were getting traded to the Memphis Grizzlies, what went through your mind?
I will say the first thing that came back to mind was like, Zach Randolph punched me in the face. And some people might still be pretty pissed off about it. So we got some patchwork to do, mate.
Have you gone around town at all, and has anybody mentioned that to you?
Nah, not yet. I haven't had too much opportunity, though, to be fair.
The Chris Vernon Show, live daily on grindcitymedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't miss the newest Grind City Media podcast, Infield Fly, with me, Rob Fisher, along with Lang Whitaker and Keith Murphy. Comes out each Tuesday, and we'll have the latest on our favorite teams and yours. Regional and Superstation teams, the Cardinals, Braves, and Cubs, while going around the horn to check in on the rest of the league. Be sure to subscribe today at grindcitymedia.com, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud.
HBCU Huddle with me, CJ Hurt, and Mike Wallace has all of your HBCU football, sports, and culture needs covered. We discuss the hottest stories weekly across the black college sports landscape, including the SWAC, MEAC, Tennessee State, Lane, Lemoyne-Owen, and all the black colleges in between. New episodes drop every Thursday, and you can stay connected with the latest stories and discussions about your favorite HBCU by going to grindcitymedia.com, selecting the podcast folder, and clicking on the HBCU Huddle tab. HBCU Huddle is the spot for all your black college sports and culture needs.
It is 9:01 on the dot, and we are so excited to continue our Media Day coverage.
I feel like every year for Media Day, everyone always compares it to the first day of school. Did you have any first day of school jitters?
It's definitely a first day of school mentality, those butterflies in your stomach. But then it took a second to go, well, that's probably a good thing, right? You should always have a little bit of nervousness.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com. Welcome back to grindcitymedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker, presented by WynnBET.
It's the most grizzlyful time of the year.
What?
Who?
I don't write it, I read it. Yeah. Cyber Monday and Tuesday, 48-hour sale for 2 days only, starting at 10 a.m. Cyber Monday, November 29th, running through midnight Tuesday, November 30th. You can select tickets for all December home games up to 65% off, with some prices as low as $6. Wow. Give the gift of Grizz this holiday season. Visit Grizzlies.com before this Cyber Monday and Tuesday. 48-hour sale runs out. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Odds Couple. Lance Taylor going to join us in a moment, and then we have picks coming up here on the program. Yep, that's coming up here in a little bit. But first, Sad Dan Mullen. It's the last that we hear from Dan Mullen, and this is his final press conference with the Florida Gators following their loss to the Missouri Tigers last week.
As a coach, I want to try to make sure I'm putting these guys in position to go succeed and do really well and make plays all the time when they have opportunities to. And, we're not doing that. And so that's disappointing.
Have you been told anything about your future by Scott? And what do you say to Gator Nation? You wonder if you get this thing fixed next season.
Yeah, I mean, we had meetings last week about what direction we need to go in the future with assistant coaches. I mean, for the Gator Nations, that's 7 times we've lost 1-score games in a row. We got to find a way to make that one more play. That'd be a 7-game swing, which would be a pretty big swing.
Do you want to be here?
Yeah, I love being the coach of the Gators.
Gator Nation.
There's like a certain added indignity when those questions come over Zoom.
That was his way of trying to.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I think he knew it was on the edge. His job was
He sounded like he knew he was gone.
because he said, it's 7 1-score games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 1-score games. Yeah.
Joining us now is the co-host of Next Round Live, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. weekdays. He's on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor, and you can get his picks daily at lanceslock.com. Lance Taylor joins us from Birmingham. Hello, Lance.
Hey, fellas. Well, he was 2-9 his last 11 against Power 5 opponents, and I read only Kansas and Vanderbilt were in the same company.
Wow.
And it blows me away because, when he took the job, I immediately said, based on what I saw him do at Mississippi State, and I knew there was questions about his recruiting, but I was like, almost any really good coach in Florida, at least since Spurrier, has won a national championship, so I believed he would be in that situation. And the first 3 years, it was trending in that direction. 10 wins, 11 wins, and then last year, although they lost 4 games, that was an elite offense that played Alabama as tight as anyone did, and less than a year later, he's fired. So I can't say I was blown away the way it was trending over the last couple of months, and I don't think his the way he just conducted himself helped at all. And I think there was a problem with that culture, but it still kind of is amazing that going into this season, if you would have said Dan Mullen is going to be fired in season for performance, nothing off the field, people would have thought that we were insane.
It is amazing they could have had culture problems at Florida. Hiring an Urban Meyer disciple because he did not have culture problems at all.
Right. Roger, you can have people that they kill people as long as you win championships.
I think it's crazy and unbelievable that today, compared to maybe 11 weeks ago, that I think Florida State's a better football team than Florida.
I don't disagree at all. After week 1, we thought coming off that Labor Day performance against Notre Dame, that was going to be a pretty good Florida State team. And then it kind of imploded, and, obviously they lost to Jacksonville State. But they're sitting there at 5-6, and I think they're playing better football right now. I don't know if they win this weekend in Gainesville against Florida. It's obviously a coin flip game. Florida's -2.5. I sure as hell, and I said this last week, I would not lay points for Florida in any situation, and that came to fruition against Missouri, obviously losing that game outright. I don't love this game at all, but Florida State is definitely playing better football.
Yeah. What game in the SEC stands out to you the most this week? Is it the Egg Bowl?
Yeah, I think it is. I love Mississippi State in this situation. I know the Egg Bowl is really unpredictable, and everybody's talking about Ole Miss and this incredible job that Lane Kiffin's done and still has an opportunity to win 11 games. I just think that right now Will Rogers is playing at another level. You saw what he was able to do in his first Egg Bowl. And I like Mississippi State -2 here. I think defensively they'll do enough to slow Ole Miss down. I think it'll be a fun, just a typical Egg Bowl that we're used to. Total has gone from 60.5 up to 64. I lean over. I think we'll see points, but I think ultimately Mississippi State wins that game.
I can't believe I'm asking you about this game, but it I don't know. After watching him cry last week, I guess I got emotional and I got on board. I'm a Gamecock member now. Can they give Clemson a problem this week? If ever, why not now?
Yeah, Rob, I think the problem is Clemson is finally playing the football we thought that they would play after watching them against Wake last week. I agree, man. I like Shane Beamer. He was on our show last week. He retweeted us. He was very personable, was funny. I can see why everybody is buying in right now at South Carolina. That might be the most amazing story. Well, I still think Florida's probably more of an amazing story that he was fired this year. But the second biggest story would have to be, South Carolina. I think your coach of the year probably ends up being Kirby Smart. But outside of that, it's your Egg Bowl winner or it's Shane Beamer. I just think with the job he's done before the season, I think their total wins was 2.5. I thought they would be maybe 3-9 or 2-10, and for them to be sitting here at 6-5, and they do have an opportunity to win this weekend. But going back to what I said earlier, watching Pace and Shipley run the football against Wake, DJ's still not playing good football. But that defense was dominant. 7 sacks against Sam Hartman. They really shut down Wake's offense. They jumped all over them early. And I just think Clemson is playing like I thought that they would play in the regular season this year based on Clemson I saw last week. It's a big number, though. I don't know if I feel comfortable laying it. I think South Carolina could hang around, but they still don't have the athletes to play with Clemson.
Alabama-Auburn, Iron Bowl. Weird things happen in this game, but it doesn't feel like that's the case this week. And we were talking about it earlier. At least in years past, Alabama has a performance like they had last week where they only win by a touchdown. This would seem to be bounce back. Let's crush whoever's in front of us if we have the opportunity, and they might have the opportunity this week.
Well, this is a weird game at Jordan-Hare traditionally. Alabama's lost 3 of their last 4 there. One of my good Alabama friends said it's an Indian burial ground at Jordan-Hare. Just the craziest poltergeist-like things happen. I mean, you saw Bulovas hit one off the upright from 30 that would have tied the game 2 years ago. Mac Jones, and one of his first starts threw multiple pick sixes. And, Auburn does seem to have the ball bounce the right way when they play those games in Jordan-Hare. But with T.J. Finley, I think it's a little bit different. Alabama, I can't figure out. Last week, Bryce Young was so good, went for an Alabama career-high 559 through the air. They almost went 700 total yards, and they win the game by 7. And so it's kind of head-scratching that Alabama, as dominant as they've been on offense, their defense still gives up big plays, and their offensive line has not played good. They've given up 17 sacks over the last 6 games. But, again, T.J. Finley, I think the statue in the pocket that he will be against this Alabama defense. Will Anderson, quick prediction, not that there's going to be a any kind of prop you can put on this, but I think he has more sacks than Auburn scores touchdowns. I think Will Anderson's probably 3 or 4 sacks against this Auburn offensive line, and I think Auburn is really limited with what they will be able to do offensively. Tank Bigsby's really good, but they kind of got away from him in the second half against South Carolina. I think Alabama wins this game going away. I don't know if they cover the 19.5. It's kind of a big number. I probably would lean Auburn plus 19.5, but I think Bama wins between 17 and 21.
Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State seems to be getting things right.
Wow. I mean, last weekend, I never play 11 o'clock games. I told you guys that, but I finally decided to lay it against Michigan State, and boy, was I glad I did. I mean, up 49-0 at half. They could have beaten that team by 70. You guys watch that game. C.J. Stroud, a slew of first-round wide receivers. Travion Henderson is going to end up being one of the best running backs for the next couple of years. I'm stubborn. I just feel like, they've lost 15 of 16. The way they run the football, the way they play defense in Ann Arbor, I just think this game's going to be closer than most people think. I think Ohio State ultimately wins this game, but I think it's a one-possession game. So I think if you can grab 8.5 here, I think it's pretty good value.
What do you see in the Shield this week?
So I wasn't going to give you this game until I hit last week with Minnesota, because for whatever reason I was on the biggest cold streak I've ever seen, giving you guys one play. I do think this game is ultra important for my Rams coming off the bye, and Aaron Rodgers, obviously the toe is giving him some serious issues. I just don't know why this game's a pick. To me, Green Bay is maybe the best team in the NFL right now. They're 4-0 in Lambeau. The Rams have not looked good against elite competition. They have gotten completely punked the last couple of weeks against the Titans and then against Roser's 49ers. But I think coming off the bye, I think this is a really good spot. Matt Stafford hasn't been great against Aaron Rodgers, 4-12 all time, but he has won in Lambeau with a lot less talent. And I just think this game is so important for the Rams. I like the Rams at a pick here on the road.
I do need to ask you an NFL question, though. 3 options here. You and Fish, Lang, y'all can chime in too. Is Deebo Samuel, A, the best wide receiver in the NFL, B, the best running back in the NFL, or C, both? All hail Deebo Samuel. He's so fun.
He is so underutilized. And look, and I know Kyle Shanahan is one of the best in the business, but I would love to see him on like a Rams roster too. He is great. He has never played with an elite quarterback. I don't have a problem with that. DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas, those guys healthy might make the argument.
Cooper Kupp's great too. Cooper Kupp's great.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's great, but you're talking about just the physicality of Deebo, man. I mean, the guy is a complete stud, and really, if you're talking about underrated guys, Coop was one of those guys coming into the season, but because of the numbers, everybody kind of knows who he is, and because your 49ers are sitting at 5-5, Samuel's still not a household name, but he needs to be. He's that good.
Yeah.
Lance, how can folks get your picks every day?
Lance'sLock.com. Winning Saturday last week, winning Sunday. I sync. We've hit 12 of our last 16 free plays, including Western Michigan last night. We give you a free play every single day. It's $90 for everything, including the NBA, college basketball, NFL, college football, sides, totals, everything. $3 a day. Simple math, $90 a month. Perfect for the gambler in your life. Perfect Christmas holiday gift there. So just go to lanceslock.com and you'll get the free play every day, and you can subscribe right there.
Sounds perfect. Lance, happy Thanksgiving. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the action, and we'll do it again next week.
Yeah, you guys enjoy the game. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. Lance Taylor joining us from Birmingham, talking about the games coming up this week. Tennessee and South Carolina both bowl eligible, and Missouri for that matter. Missouri, Tennessee, and South Carolina bowl eligible. I think two of the three at least are surprises. The way Missouri has started this season to become bowl eligible, I think, is a surprise.
I think everybody expected
South Carolina
Missouri
for
to.
sure.
I think people expected at the beginning of the year Missouri to be a bowl team. Now how they've done it.
I had them 10-2.
Well, yeah, we know that.
No, I didn't have them 10, but I had them good. I'm going to look while you talk.
But
Tennessee's a surprise.
Tennessee, because Tennessee actually looks like they got something here. Like they may have something here.
I watched that whole Georgia game, and if Hendon Hooker could. I mean, neither of those quarterbacks can throw accurately. At least Hooker can run some, but like if they had a quarterback who could throw accurately, you can see how that system might work. You know, like just.
And Hooker's way better than Milton.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
but even
way,
he was
way
like
better.
he had an interception against Georgia where he threw it to the wrong cornerback.
Yeah, no,
like there's some bad plays.
I think some of that though, because Hooker's looked really good in other games. I think some of that's just like freaking Georgia's unbelievable.
But I could also
Like,
see
they're
how
just-
if you're a recruit, you watch Tennessee, an offensive player especially, you watch Tennessee, you're like, I want to be part of this.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna get better players there.
If you're a wide receiver, you've got to love that. I mean, like I could go there and I mean, I'm going to catch passes. Like I'm going to get seen. And if you're a quarterback too,
I think a year or two from now, their best defensive players playing on Alabama.
Right.
2-2, whatever. How do you say his name? Like that. They lost a lot of good players, and they're still pretty good this year.
I had Missouri at SEC Media Days. I had them 9-3, but then I came to my senses preseason. I picked them 8-4.
Came to your senses. You
2
changed
years
one
in a
game.
row. Just
you gotta
killed them.
So you didn't see Kentucky, or who was it that you didn't see being as good as they were this year in the East?
I didn't have Kentucky as good as they were.
Does
I had Florida
Vanderbilt
better.
have a win?
I had Vanderbilt exactly where
No,
they're
I don't
at.
think so.
Did
in the
have-
SEC?
No, have they won a game period yet?
Yeah, they won like week
They
2.
they
or
won
something.
at Colorado State.
Yeah.
Okay, that's better than I thought they'd do.
I didn't think they'd win that one for sure.
Yeah, that's better than I thought they'd be.
South Carolina's the surprise. They're going bowling. Shane Beamer's done an amazing job here in this first year, and what a win it was for his team last week. Here is Beamer after his team became bowl eligible.
Just so happy for these players. They so happy for them to be bowl eligible after they won 2 games last year. Just so happy for them and proud of them. Like since the day I got hired, since we came in here, they've done absolutely everything that we've asked them to do and never flinched. And it was ugly early. And we're down, 14-0, and it wasn't looking pretty. Nobody panicked. That's a heck of a team we just beat. But, man, I'm just so happy for these guys and so happy for our fans. I don't know what our fans had plans for in December, but we're going bowling somewhere.
Yeah!
That's cool. It means something, though, to them.
I don't know if our fans were planning on buying a bad boy mower, but now's the time.
Maybe they're coming to the Liberty Bowl.
They could.
They could be coming.
They
to
might
the
be
Liberty
coming to the
Bowl.
Liberty Bowl. Good for them,
Good
though.
for Shane Beamer.
That's
Shane Beamer in studio.
Didn't expect
We're going to get him here in studio.
Didn't expect they'd beat Florida or Auburn.
By the way,
Do you
Vanderbilt.
think we could make him cry?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
Vanderbilt beat UConn also.
Okay, well, I expected
they
to do
did.
that
In the game of the year, you
Yeah.
could have gotten tickets for $1.50.
I was there. Yeah,
South Carolina's getting 11.5 against Clemson. Totals at 43. Last 4 games for Clemson have gone over. South Carolina, 11 of their last 17 as a dog have gone over. Head-to-head, the favorite between these two teams is 5-2 against the spread. 5-2, so that would be in Clemson's favor. Tennessee, meanwhile, they got Vandy this week. They're a 31-point favorite. Vanderbilt, they're getting 31. Vanderbilt 7-2 against the spread their last 9 on the road. And they've covered 7 of the last 9 against Tennessee. Probably because, as we pointed out last week, the number is always so large.
Tennessee's going to beat
probably
them.
because
Tennessee's going to beat them like 63.
Probably because Jeremy Pruitt's been the coach at Tennessee
And
the
Jeremy
last
Pruitt's been the coach
5 years.
I think Tennessee's going to destroy them.
I do too.
Destroy
Like, I
them?
think Tennessee covers that
I think
number.
so, too.
I think it's like 63-7 or something.
Okay. One other game. Memphis Tigers. Tigers have Tulane.
In the
Tigers
membrane.
6-point favorite at the Liberty Bowl. Memphis 11-6 against the spread. Their last 17 in November. That's good. They're a good November team. Their last 5 games have gone under. Tulane's last 4 have gone under, and 8 of the last 11 meetings have gone under with Memphis and Tulane.
Oh.
I love Memphis in the game this week.
Can I
Minus the
bring
points.
up one more college football story I saw this week that I thought we should talk about?
Of course.
Well, we just going to ignore Memphis, though? We just going to ignore what Fish says?
We've talked about them for
Fish, I'm with
ad
you.
nauseum
I
earlier.
I
Yeah, we
like
did.
Memphis, too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
ahead of the Navy,
Go ahead, Len.
Army-Navy big rivalry games coming up
Yeah.
in a couple weeks.
Love our
U.S.
military.
military Academy cadets traveled this week to this is from the Associated Press, farm near Annapolis, Maryland, home to Navy mascot Bill, who belongs to a long line of goat mascots with the same name. Cadets gave chase to the spooked goats, and instead of grabbing Bill number 37, they came away with Bill number 34, a one-horned 14-year-old retiree, according to the New York Times. So they stole the wrong goat
Oh, man.
before the game.
Oh, man. Anyway, support the troops. We
got-
love our troops. God bless America.
I mean, I could see
And the goats.
you could have got
And the
Bill
goats.
37. You
How'd
got
you get
34.
the wrong one?
We could give them the Silkies goat. They could
Yeah.
they can come and steal the Silkies goat.
They pointed out 2018 Army officials apologized after a Falcon belonging to the Air Force Academy was injured in a prank.
Oh.
So,
Peter's going to get all over you for that one, too.
yeah.
I did
Yeah.
a prank last night for the first time in like 35 years.
What'd
I'll
you-
tell you about it during the break. We'll
I
take a break.
still wish one of these days. I wish the Grizzlies. I know it's because of the arena rules and everything. We need a live Grizzly mascot.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds safe.
That sounds
For
good.
real. We
That
really
travels
do.
with us, too, on the plane. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Do you remember when the Atlanta Hawks mascot got loose in their arena and was sat on like in the stands, just landed on the basket
Well,
support?
just glad you weren't playing the Spurs that night with Manu Ginobili.
That's true.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we come back, we'll talk a little Shield, and then we have picks. Here on this program. This is The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
The Odds Couple is brought to you by WynnBET, the official sportsbook partner of the Memphis Grizzlies. WynnBET is bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. You can place bets on games on any major sport, including on NBA teams like your Memphis Grizzlies. Sign up today and use promo code BET1WIN100, and after placing your first $1 wager, you'll receive $100 to bet with. There's no better way to enjoy basketball than with some extra winnings in your pocket to use for all your favorite bets. Betting is a team sport. Join the WynnBET team and bet with the best. Must be physically located in Tennessee and 21 years of age or older to participate. If you win or someone you know needs assistance with a gambling problem, call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
What are your favorite kind of basketball speeches that just like are stuck in your mind? It doesn't have to be Hall of Fame. It can be like any type of speech
Yeah.
from a basketball player.
I mean, Hall of Fame for me, Michael Jordan's the end all be all because we not only was it a great speech and he was like pretty petty and mean and it was memorable, but he cried and we got the crying
The
Jordan
crying
meme.
Join Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Ray Johnson, every Thursday as we debate the hottest topics in the NBA. IMHO on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and our social channels.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Come on, Vern.
Look,
we on the Vern show.
Yeah, you have
Vern,
talked-
why your
look.
fit look like you were supposed to be in a
Look.
garage right now
Look at
fixing up some
that.
tools or something?
Look at this. That's a Deion Sanders throwback.
Man.
How dare you?
You look like you put that on to eat. My goodness.
How dare you?
The Chris Vernon Show, live daily on grindcitymedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You could be mad at me like, oh, no, you ain't tried my biscuit. I don't care about your biscuit because these flaky biscuits, next level.
My Nana's biscuits were the flakiest, most perfect biscuits, and I have the recipe, and I have yet to be able to recreate those biscuits. And every time I try, I fail, and it makes me so sad because will I ever have a biscuit that tastes as good as the biscuits I grew up on? Probably not.
Rise and Grind with Jessica and Megan. Live daily at 8 a.m. on grindcitymedia.com. Welcome back to GrindCityMedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum. Now, here's more of the Odds Couple, Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker. Presented by WinBet.
Well, as you saw there on the marquee, the holiday packs are back. The holidays are back, so is the Grizzlies' gift of the season. The Grizzlies' 6-game holiday packs are on sale now, featuring the year's best matchups and giveaways, including the Warriors, Nets, Bucks, and more. Holiday packs start at just $20 per game. Plus, if you buy by Black Friday, you receive the Dallas December 8th game free. How about that? Free. Absolutely free. Yeah. So skip the mall, avoid the crowds, and warm up this season with the Grizzlies 6-game holiday pack today. Called 901-888-HOOP. Or shop online at grizzlies.com. Welcome back.
People in Memphis perk up when they hear the word free.
That's right.
No doubt about that.
If it's free, it's me.
So with the prank, we're going to say Maori Christmas.
That's amazing.
Get it?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Picks coming up here in moments. But first, NFL. Chiefs beat up on Dallas last week. I'm not going to say it surprised me, because I don't know which Dallas team I'm going to see, and I don't know what Chiefs team I'm going to see.
And also, Dallas, they had weird injuries and concussions and COVID stuff now.
I think Dallas is better than Kansas City.
I don't know about that.
No Randy Gregory, no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb got hurt.
Is Kansas City getting better?
Like, their defense is better.
I think they're better.
Yeah.
Their defense is getting better, and Mahomes has gotten better in the aspect of he's learning these teams are not going to let him just bomb it out anymore.
Yeah.
They're going to make him throw the ball underneath every time, and he's learning to do that.
Well, and Patrick Mahomes, after the game on the weekend against the Dallas Cowboys, said, hey, we're just fine.
I knew we were never broken as a team. We have too many good players, too many special guys on this team that go through the process, even when they're bad times or good times. But we're still early in the season. I mean, I know we've kind of got to that second half, but our goal is to be on top at the end of the season.
There you go.
Shut up, you frog.
They have a bye.
I hate that guy.
They have a bye week this week.
On the goal is to be on top. I put ketchup on mac and cheese. Shut up. Screw that guy.
Here's some trends for the NFL this week. New England 6-point favorite against Tennessee. Patriots have covered their last 5 games overall. They've covered the 5 of the last 7 against the Titans. Bengals 4.5-point favorite against the Steelers. Steelers 16-4-2 against the spread their last 22 games against the Bengals. Tampa Bay 3-point favorite at Indianapolis. The Colts are 4-0-1 against the spread last 5 against the Bucks. And Green Bay, the pick'em against the Rams. Packers have covered the last 7 meetings with the Rams. 7 straight for the Pack. All right, a couple nuggets of the week.
Nuggets.
Georgia's covered 10 straight at Georgia Tech. 10 straight.
Yeah, like that.
LSU has covered 10 straight against Texas A&M. Mississippi State, Ole Miss, the underdog, has covered 7 of the last 9. That would be Ole Miss this year.
If LSU beats Texas A&M, is that it for Jimbo going to LSU?
You'd think so, right?
Right? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thanks, Roger.
I'm with y'all. Let us know.
Arkansas and Missouri.
That's what people come to the show for.
Arkansas.
Cutting analysis.
Arkansas is the home team. The home team's covered 8 of the last 9 in the series. And then Alabama at Auburn. Alabama 55-1 straight up as a double-digit favorite against the SEC. They're 32-24 against the spread in that situation. All right, there you go. Ready for picks? Let's do picks. I'll go ahead and start Fish's 5. I'm going with the Memphis Tigers this week, minus the 6. Memphis big over Tulane. Memphis 10-4 against spread the last 14 meetings. The home team's covered the last 5 between those two teams. Texas State, Arkansas State under 63.5. 4 of the last 5 meetings have gone under. Texas State 4 of their last 5 have gone under, and Arkansas State their last 6 have gone under. Under. UMass, New Mexico State, under 58. Always take UMass under. 4 of their last 5 have gone under.
There you go.
Navy at Temple, under 43.5. Small number, but Navy doesn't score. Navy, 5 of their last 6 have gone under as well. And then in the Shield, I'm going with the Dolphins, getting the 2 against the Panthers. Miami 3-0-1 against the spread. Their last 4, they've covered 4 of the last 5 meetings with Carolina. Loving those unders. Loving the unders and the Tigers this week.
Yeah.
That's 4 winners right there. We'll shoot for 5 with the Dolphins on Sunday.
And I say, to the players of UMass and New Mexico State, if you thought, why the hell are we playing this game? Nobody cares. Wrong. Rob Fisher in Memphis, Tennessee cares. So you got one person.
ESPN plus.
Other than Rob Fisher, you guys are right, though.
That's
ESPN
right.
+8.
+8. Lang!
It's like when we were tuned in at 5 a.m. to the badminton gold medal match during the Olympics.
That we lost.
Yeah, but we tried.
What is this?
Look, the syndicate's got to get back on track.
Yeah.
Do we all agree on that?
Yeah.
Syndicate needs. Yeah. We need to get it going.
We got better last week from the week before. We got
the
to be over 500.
The Dogs just missed the cover last week. We got Georgia Tech in here this week, who got skunked by Notre Dame last week. I'm going heavy on the Dogs. Anything I could find Georgia over Georgia Tech, I took it this week. We got to get this thing going again, and Georgia's been my best bet all season.
Yep.
Playing the big rival. Georgia Tech stinks. Jeff Collins is on his last legs there, so the Dogs are going to finish them off.
So Dogs -35, the over first half, the -7.5 first
quarter.
half, first quarter,
Yeah,
-21 first half. You're going all Dogs,
All Dogs
across the board.
All Dogs.
All right.
Go Dogs, sick 'em, woof woof.
Let's see CJ's picks. CJ's not here this week, but we do have CJ's picks. He's not even taking the points with Michigan.
No, he just wants the money line.
Money line
Yeah,
on
he's a big
Michigan this week.
fan.
He likes Iowa at Nebraska. Iowa -1.5. Houston -32.5 at UConn. Always betting against UConn is a good bet. He agrees with y'all about Tennessee blowing out Vanderbilt. They'll give the 31 there. And he's taking LSU plus the 6.5 at home against Texas A&M and Ed Orgeron's last game as the head coach of the Go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Oh, yeah, no Tigers.
Roser.
Let's go.
This?
We are going to go with Ohio State across the board here. Ohio State -4 in the first half. Ohio State -7 or 7.5 or 8, whatever the hell it is for the game. Just take it. Ohio State and Michigan over 31 in the first half. Ohio State and Michigan over 63 for the game. And Ohio State's team total over 36 for the game. Maybe this is the year where that can lose. Maybe it is. But it's won for you pretty much like that exact thing has won for you, 10 straight years.
Yeah.
So just roll with it. You want to throw something else in there?
Let's do it.
I like Tennessee. I do like Tennessee -31. I'll throw that in there. And it's Bedlam, and so I hate the 4, but I'd ride with Oklahoma State too. I don't think Oklahoma can score on them. And then we got to roll with Roser. We got a teaser.
That's right.
Teaser.
Roll with Roser.
We got a 3-team, 7-point teaser. Pays out even money. We're going to go with the Cowboys -1 against the Raiders on Thanksgiving. We're going to take the 49ers, red-hot 49ers, +4 against the Vikings. And then the Green Bay Packers +7 at home against the Los Angeles Rams.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, Thanksgiving. You might be listening to this before Thanksgiving. You might be listening to it after Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, or hope you're having a great Thanksgiving. What's your favorite side piece?
Man.
Do you mean during Thanksgiving?
During Thanksgiving,
yeah.
Oh,
God.
I had dressing.
Dressing?
Yeah. Not stuffing.
No.
No, dressing.
Okay.
Separate.
Roser?
Sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Sweet potato pie.
I'm going broccoli rice casserole.
I like broccoli rice casserole.
It's traditional in our house.
I am a big fan of green bean casserole.
Green bean casserole is fantastic. I'm a big casserole guy.
I love
I'm making collards.
Devin Walker has told me this is just a white people thing at Thanksgiving.
What's that? The
casseroles? He's like, black people don't do casseroles. He's like, it's always white people that do casseroles.
I mean, technically, mac and cheese is a casserole.
Yeah.
It's just multiple things in the same pan.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank y'all.
And
gobble, gobble.
Thankful for everyone listening to the program.
Yes,
and
we are.
We're all going to be thankful for all our winners.
Yeah.
That we're going to have this week.
Syndicate is back.
Big week for the Syndicate.
And
Go Dogs,
and
go
we're 50,
Buckeyes.
and look, even with a couple of bad weeks that we've had, we're still 53% on the season. So we're winning you money.
That's right. Winning you money right here on The Odds Couple. We're glad you tune in each and every week. Thank you for joining us. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the program. Next week, we'll be talking conference championships, more NFL. Big stuff going on next week's program. So make sure you tune in next week as well. For Kimball, Robbie, Jacob for helping us out. For Roser, for CJ, who's not here today, he'll be back next week. And for Lang, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you next week again here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
You've been listening to The Odds Couple, presented by WinBet on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.